Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari ST A to Z, a series of short playthroughs of Atari ST games, some which I grew up with and some which are new to me. Today is one of the former. Today we're looking at Shufflepuck Café, which was a 1989 release from Broderbund, developed by Christopher Gross, Gene Portwood and Lauren Elliott. It was originally released on Mac and then subsequently ported to Atari ST, Amiga, Amstrad CPC, Famicom, Sharp X68000, NEC PCA 9801 and MS-DOS. So this game got around a bit, but not to all of the sort of usual 8-bit platforms at the time, which is quite interesting. So this game was originally intended to be a version of Shuffleboard, hence the name, but over time it developed into something more akin to air hockey. It was very well received on its original release for its excellent graphics and its digitized sound, in the ST and Amiga version obviously, and a wide variety of opponents. So I'm quite interested to see how well this holds up today. So I've actually got a box copy of this here. This is a Broderbund one that comes in one of these sort of hard plastic shells, so try not to make light shine on it too much. But yeah, some lovely artwork on here featuring the characters that you'll be encountering in the game. So on the front here, these are all the people who are hanging out in the Shufflepuck Café who will become your opponents, and there's like a lovely pixel art recreation of that screen in the game, as you'll see when we start playing. And inside we've got just a single disc nestled nicely in there. And then we've got an instruction book as well, so let's have a quick look at that before we move on to what we're doing. Now this is one of those games that sort of put the instructions on the back of a poster as well, so if you wanted to put that up and display it, you can do. So, welcome to the Shufflepuck Café. You are the galaxy's most successful Krypton 3 salesman. On the way to close the biggest sale of your career, your brand new Nash sombrero has blown a capacitor in the reactor valve. You exit the gravway and coast down into the wrong side of town. Now all you need to do is find a phone and a repair sled will be on its way. The only signs of life seem to be coming from a shoddy structure 3 doors down and across the street. Opening the door, you make your way down a flight of debris-covered stairs. Something loathsome scampers over your feet on its way to the activities below. A shout of recognition is heard as whatever it was enters the smoke-filled room. You stumble into the room and suddenly it's as silent as the depths of space. Several pairs of hostile eyes and a few sets of 3 challenge you to enter. The only thing that stands between you and the telephone is 8 galactic misfits, an obsolete droid, and a few friendly games of Shufflepuck. Relax, if you lose, you'll earn their contempt. Win, and you'll earn their resentment. So yeah, there's the rest of these instructions sort of go over the different opponents and so on, and we'll see a few of these in the actual game itself. And it also talks a bit about the customization options as well, because there is sort of a main tournament mode that you can play through in this game in an attempt to try and finish it as such. But then you can also play practice games against all the individual opponents and customize the experience with things like the size of your paddles and whether there's a blocker in the middle and all sorts of other things as well. So it's quite a comprehensive game despite being based on a very, very simple concept. So let's go play Shufflepuck Café. Okay, here we are with Shufflepuck Café from Broderbund Software. Distributed in the UK by Domark. I forgot to mention that in the intro. But yeah, that sort of hard case version I have is what Domark tended to do with their UK releases. It always felt a bit weird to me because they're quite sort of brittle and fragile, and the inlays don't quite fit properly, but they certainly had a distinctive look and feel about them. Anyway, here we are with Shufflepuck Café. So, we talked about the concept of this game in the intro. These are all your different opponents that you can play against. If you click on where it says current champion up here, you can take on the tournament and attempt to reach the telephone to call for a repair. But also you can just click on any of these opponents to practice against them, and that allows you to customize the experience a bit and see what is going on. Now the easiest opponent is this guy down here called Skip. Alternatively, you can play against the droid over here. He doesn't participate in the tournament, but you can customize his behavior so that you can basically train yourself against various different combinations of abilities. But let's just have a game against Skip to begin with, so we can see how all this works. And here we go. So you control this with the mouse. You move your paddle forwards and backwards and left and right using the mouse. And that's it. pretty much. You can also hold down the mouse button to that affects the way that your panel controls things. I think it makes it more powerful by default, but one thing you can do is you can actually tap a key and bring up this menu here, and you can customize all of the behavior of your paddle. So button up is just moving the mouse by itself, and button down is what happens when you hold the button down. So you can actually customize all of the stats of the paddle based on whether you're holding the button and its default behavior as well. Or you can reset it to tournament paddle, which is the standard thing there, and you can adjust the size of it as well. You can also put a blocker in the middle of the table, which is just something that gets in the way, or you can remove that altogether. Let's just play a standard game for now. Let's see how we get on against Skip. Skip isn't very good, so he's fairly easy to beat. And I always found this game enormously satisfying purely because of that shattering glass effect anytime you beat them. So if you do a really... You'll notice that the severity of the shattering is affected by how powerful your shot was as well. So like if you do a really meaty shot... Oops. There's like a massive glass shattering sound. Whereas if you do a fairly gentle shot, it's just a gentle little tinkle. There we go. So that's a nice big one there. Those are really good sound effects. Oops. That's a poor one here. Much better. And yeah, you just continue like this until someone scores 15 points, which is marked up by the droid at the side of the screen on the board, as you can see. And fun and not very interesting fact, this game, when I was a kid, this game taught me what a tally system was. I'd not come across a tally system before I played this game, and then I saw how the robot was recording the scores, and so by the time we were looking at tally systems in maths, which I think wasn't until secondary school we really looked at that, I already knew what it was because I played Shufflepuck Café. And who says video games never teach you anything? So you see that Skip here, he has an obvious weakness in that the right hand side of the table he leaves pretty much unprotected. Excuse me. And so he's pretty easy to take advantage of. And so playing against him is a good way of practicing aiming shots into specific parts of the table, which, as you can imagine, is a pretty important skill to develop in this game. Oh, excuse me. Already been talking too much today, clearly. Go on, get in there. That's the stuff. Play again? I don't think so. No. We can then click champions. And then I believe... Oh no, you click game, rather. I don't want to play him again. We go game, and then we say new opponent. And then you can click on someone else to play. So, for example, there's this little chap down here. I forget his name offhand. But yes, he is an opponent. He is the thing described in the little story in the intro. And you see his behaviour is completely different. So, he starts just by sort of wildly swinging his paddle back and forth like this. But he's still not an especially solid opponent. Because that's pretty much all he does. So if you just hit the puck so it goes round him, or down the sides of the table, which again he leaves relatively undefended, then you can take him out quite easily. Oh dear. But of course the side effect of that is that the shots he returns to you can sometimes be a little bit unpredictable. And will certainly make a lot of bank shots like this. Oh dear, that wasn't good, was it? So there's a definite progression through the opponents on this, all the way up to the champion. There are a couple of opponents who have abilities that are quite frankly cheating. I'll show you one of them in a minute. But that's one way of sort of adding challenge to that. They may be cheating, but there are ways to sort of still be able to deal with that and understand. Oh no! Yeah, there are ways to sort of manage their cheating and still be able to deal with it and still be able to win. It's just very difficult. It's just a different way that the game adds challenge beyond the opponent being able to return your shots more easily and accurately. Yeah, I remember this game being very well liked by my family when we got it. This is one of many games that my brother reviewed for Page 6 magazine. Excuse me, got a cough today. Yeah, it's one of many games that my brother got a review copy. And so he had to play it fairly thoroughly to be able to write about it. And so it's something that we as a family actually spent a lot of time with all together. And everyone enjoyed this because of the excellent graphics and the sampled sound effects. And the fact that it's such a simple game to understand. Like, at its heart, it's just Pong, isn't it? So, just happens to be in 3D with lovely graphics and sound. And shattering glass when you win, which is immensely satisfying. Oh no! In my defense, my eyes are watering slightly from all the coughing, so blame it on that. Nearly there. Oh, he's so sad when you win. He's so sad. Right. Let's have a go at one more opponent. Now we'll try and click on things more accurately. Right, I'll show you the princess here. Because she cheats. And you'll see exactly how and why when you play her. So she has a tiny paddle. So in theory, she should be really easy to beat, right? Well. Oops. Well, one. So she has telekinetic powers. Which means that anytime she serves, she sends it out to the middle of the board like that and then hurls it at you without using her paddle. Which is really bloody annoying. You can tell which direction it's going to go based on the sound that it makes. So once you learn the sounds that her two different telekinetic powers make, you can learn to return that serve. But you'll see that she's actually a fairly formidable opponent, even without all this nonsense. I've talked before about games that have specific nostalgia because of sound effects for me, and this game is one of those. So the shattering glass sound for one thing, but also the sounds that the princess makes in this when she's doing her telekinetic thing. I'm getting absolutely destroyed here. Yeah, the sound she makes when she's doing her serve. Those have really stuck with me over the years for some reason. Don't know why. I didn't play this game much. I wasn't very good at it as a kid, so it was one of those games that I boot up because I wanted to sort of see the pretty graphics and hear the cool sample sounds and stuff, but I wasn't actually very good at actually playing it, so I tended not to actually keep playing for very long. And as you can see, my skills have not really improved in the intervening 30 years. So, although I can return her serve much more reliably than I could back then. It's just actually scoring a single point on her is proving difficult. Yeah, I'm going to get completely devastated at this point. I just cannot get past her. And, yeah, my own ineptitude with the mouse controls is not helping matters. And she wins. Alright. Let's have a go against one more person. Let's try this guy here. I remember him being quite funny. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not doing well, am I? Excuse the dog outside. Yeah, trouble with this game is you reach a certain point and the opponents kind of get to a level where they are just extremely hard to get past. Sending the ball down the side seems to be a fairly reliable approach on several of them, but yeah, that seems to work quite nicely against this guy. So let's try and adopt that strategy a bit more if we can. Yeah, he leaves that right hand side pretty undefended, doesn't he? So alright, we'll try and concentrate on that a little bit. Nice. Whoops. And there I am leaving my right side undefended. There we go. More of that, please. Smash! Oh, we're getting defensive now, are we? There we go. Just had to distract him a bit. No. It's turning out to be a very even match. I remember having great difficulty beating this guy as a kid. This was one of the ones that I found very frustrating to play against just because I wasn't very good at the game, but evidently I am a little bit better than I used to be from the look of things. Smash! No, it didn't work. Span that too hard. I think the nice thing about this game is that there's a really nice sense of physicality to it. So rather than just putting a paddle in position to catch the ball like you do in Pong, in this there's actually a real feel that you're sort of actually smashing the paddle into the ball, or the puck rather. in order to make it go where you want. And that's much more satisfying because you feel like you're actually really flinging the puck at your opponent. I've taken the lead. One more point will do it. It's match point. He's going to make this difficult, isn't he? There we go. That was one thing I liked, and I didn't get to see that animation very often just because I couldn't beat him that easily. But yeah, anyway, there you go. That is Shufflepuck Café by Broderbund Software. A very well regarded game from the time, and a game that still holds up pretty well today, as you can see. So check it out. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.